Avenue, and then we'll take it higher.
Booyah, and it's time for the Game Sports Show, the Twin Sault's only local, regional, and national sports show. It's your host, David McCaig, and I'm here live at Sportscenter Bar and Grill, the Sault's best sports bar 3 years in a row. It is April the 24th, 2019, and we're here at Sportscenter for its famous Wing Night. 75-cent wings. Also, they got great cold beverages available, those Molson products, and delicious pizza and just food all around. And I'm here joined by two of my co-hosts, Matt Premo and Jamie Antonello. I'm going to bring in the fellas in just a few moments to get through the usual introduction portion of the show. You're listening to the show on thegamesportshow.com, thegamesportshow.podbean.com, or through social media outlets on YouTube, on Scott Nason's YouTube channel, or through Facebook or Instagram. If you do not follow us on social media on Facebook or Instagram, it's at The Game Sports Show or at the Game Sports Show SSM through Facebook and Instagram respectively. Don't hesitate to hit like, follow, or anything of such to keep an eye on all the updates for the Twin Sault's only local, regional, national sports show and all the contest giveaways that we've done and also what we're going to be doing. I want to give a special shout out to the Sault Thunderbirds as well. The Sault Thunderbirds played Game 7 tonight at the John Rose Community Center, and just getting word of the final score is Hearst Lumberjacks 6 and the Sault Thunderbirds 3. That is the unofficial final on the website currently here at 9:21 p.m. We'll keep you updated on that note, but I want to give a shout out to the Thunderbirds for congratulations on a great season. You won your division. You won the NOJHL regular season title. You guys had a great run then in the playoffs. You guys were down 3-1 and came back in the finals to force a Game 7. That's pure heart. You guys should not be hanging your heads. You battled hard, and you guys should be very proud of what you've accomplished this season. You made the Sioux proud for sure. And I got to say, congratulations to Hearst if and when this gets official as a final on winning the NOJHL championship. We'll get into some Sault Thunderbirds discussion on tomorrow's show from Northern Superior Brewing Company, and we also plan to have a show next Tuesday at Icebreakers where hopefully John Parco can come on by and give us reactions about the Sault Thunderbirds and going into next season. We were not at Icebreakers yesterday. We had a cancellation given the Game 7 between the Boston Bruins and the Toronto Maple Leafs, but we're not going to jump into any hockey discussion. That is also for tomorrow, and I got a nice, good little rant for listeners tomorrow, especially if you're a Toronto Maple Leaf fan. You can listen to previous editions of the show on the Podbean page or the website or in the social media outlets through our show from Monday from the Wicked Sister. Myself, Scott Nason, Butch Davis, and EJ Russell had a long and lengthy discussion about the NHL playoffs and also multiple sports going on in the Twin Saults and in professional sports. As I mentioned, Northern Superior tomorrow night, and then we plan to be back to our full schedule next week. Now, without further ado, I want to bring in here from Sportscenter Bar and Grill, this who's best sports bar 3 in a row, someone who's been absent for quite a little bit. I actually played against him this past weekend on Saturday in the Mayor's Cup Finals. He wasn't on the Game Sports Show team, though. He was on the enemy with the Marchetti's Icebreakers, formerly known as Bucci's, defending champions. And now they won the back-to-back. They defeated the Game Sports Show by a score of 7-4. There was 6-4. I like to say the empty netter. It was 7-4, but definitely a great hockey game. Preems, I want to say welcome back after your time off. How you doing, my friend? And that was a great Mayor's Cup playoff game as well.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back. Sorry, I've been on a little bit of a hiatus. I wasn't going to bring up the game, actually. It might have been a touchy subject, but since you brought it up, yeah, it was a great game, and we were pretty happy to win back-to-back. Great caliber hockey. It was a great Mayor's Cup, and looking forward to Sabrecat season gearing up here and getting started, so I'm excited to be back.
For sure. Now, that's respectful of you to wait to say you weren't going to bring up a little touchy. It's still a little soft, but you know what? We're a first-year team in the league that made it to the finals. You guys have been around. You guys are obviously a great team. We're very proud of what our team has done, so it'll be great to see what the future years come up for as well. Next year rematch, calling it right now. I'm not going to say who's winning that, though, because I don't want to start fights at the table here. Now, Sabrecats, obviously a big thing that we talk about here on the Wednesday edition of the Game Sports Show all throughout the entire year, but we have local football with our year-round in the pocket. Obviously, the guy in front of me right now, Jamie Antonello, does a lot of spearheading for Sabrecats. Obviously, you being with Sabrecats as well. We're going to be talking lots. And we also have a guest coming on by that I'm going to let Jamie jump into to introduce who we're going to have coming on by in just a little bit. Jamie, first off, though, thanks for coming on by tonight, and how you doing?
I'm good, man. I mean, I'm here every week. But, no, happy to have Preems back. So much has happened that we haven't been able to talk about. I mean, Odell being paramount in his life, and a poor Giants fan now gets to watch Cleveland be one of the best teams on paper, at least. But No, yeah, Nick Fowler is going to be coming on. He's a 19-year-old DB for us. Fourth-year Sabrecat veteran. He's going to talk about his experience. He signed on to play at Mac, so we're excited to talk to him. And really happy back. He didn't play Sabrecats last season. He was down playing for a prep school down in Southern Ontario and was unable to play in the summer. Had a great season, got him recruited to Mac, but he's now back. He's in great shape. He's going to help lead us on the defensive side and really help shore up our secondary, which was a bit of a concerning part of our defense coming out of last season. We graduated 4 out of 5 starters, but having Nick back really helped solidify that back end. So excited to talk to him.
Definitely always pleased to have here on the Gate Sports Show all the guests that we have, especially coming from the Sabercats here on Wednesdays, taking their time to come on by SportsCenter to talk to us. And Jamie and Matt obviously being big front runners and some just fantastic contributors to the community, especially in football. Now, fellas, we're here at SportsCenter. It's packed tonight. It is the fellas over here at the table are absolutely hollering. They're saluting beers. They're having conversations by slurring word conversation, I call it. That's the kind of language that they're speaking over there. I like that. But you can still come on down to SportsCenter Bar and Grill. It's a good time here as always. Now, without further ado, Jamie, I'm going to pass over the mic to you, and we're going to kick off our In the Pocket segment. You're going to introduce our guests, and we're going to get going with some Sabercats coverage.
Thanks, Dave. Happy to have Nick Fowler on. Nick, going into your last year Cats, happy to have you back. Took the year off last year. Talk about first your football experience. When's you can kind of go in depth a little bit here, but when earliest memories of football all the way through. Talk about going to Rick, St. Mary's, and then Sabercats.
I first started playing football when I was about 6 years old. I still remember my early coach, Lops, was Ben Bolduck. What an amazing guy. He's taught me a lot, and I carried that throughout my years. I went into the Sabrecat program when I was in grade 8. I played early, and I learned a lot. I sat my first year, and I really took in the experience, and that's when I really started taking football really serious. In my grade 11 year, when I played defense for St. Mary's Knights for Jim Monaco, that's when I really wanted to play on the defensive side of the ball, and that's when I said I had to start working harder and just be better than everyone else around me. I always felt like I had to prove myself. So my grade 12 year, I decided not to play Sabercats. I decided to take a year off and go to Rick Academy, and that just was absolutely amazing. I'm really glad that I had the experience to do that, and I'm grateful for it. But for me, the best moment had to be when we first went down to Ohio, and it was something that you see in the movies. Just the fans are going nuts. The bands was just absolutely so loud. And I remember when we had the kickoff, I was returning one of the balls, and it's just my heart started pounding. I got nervous. It was almost like I had tunnel vision, and I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, just like movies. I mean, it feels like every game's a Texas homecoming game, just wild. But no, you're. You had the hopefully not unfortunate pleasure of having me as your head coach in JV when you started, but not the best season in Sabrecat history there. Only our second year in JV ever, but your rookie year in varsity, your only other varsity season to this point. I mean, I know you're going to Rick. Clearly, it got you signed to Mac. I mean, you had great experience. We were sad we weren't going to get you back for that grade 12 summer, especially just because you have such a knack for making plays. And talk about that summer going back. I mean, you played a little bit of Sam, boundary half, kind of played all over the place on defense there. But talk about your experience in varsity. I mean, and what you're looking forward to going into your 19-year-old summer.
What I'm looking forward to the most is I'm looking forward to playing with all the boys I've been playing with almost all my life. We have really good chemistry, and that's one thing I love about Sabrecat football is everyone's always looking for a championship, and everyone's always willing to do what's right for the team. And I look forward to making big plays this year, and I look forward to helping out the team, but most importantly, I'm looking forward to a championship.
Yeah, it's really definitely you can't compare anything else to play with your friends you've grown up playing football with and playing for your hometown and competing with your buddies that you played Sioux minor football, JV, high school with, and played against some of these guys in high school. Now you come together and be a part of the Sabrecats varsity team. And we've had some success the last couple of years, the varsity team. We've lost in the conference finals 2 years in a row. I know we had a big win your rookie year in Barrie when we beat Huronia in the playoffs, and I think you had a big pick in that game, pick six in that game, and that was huge. So we're excited to have you back, and like Jamie mentioned, and to build off our success the last 2 years and to get over the hump. And what do you think from what you've seen so far at practice with the guys that are out, with our roster and the way we've been competing in practice? The potential for us to have a successful season and get over that kind of conference final hump that we've been facing the last couple of years.
I see like our defense is going to be an absolute key part in our success this year. Our offense has always been outstanding, but I really think that J. Rob is going to be doing good this year. I have a lot of faith in him. I really think he's going to move the ball down the field. I really think that our linebackers are just going to be absolutely key in the run game for us. We have really strong linebackers, and I really do think that our DBs are going to be making plays all over the field, and I think we're going to be deadly all over.
Yeah, specifically about that DB class. I mean, you haven't played with a lot of these guys, right? Especially the grade 11s. But I just know from being in practice, you and Westy have already started to develop some pretty good chemistry on the boundary side. You never played a season with him before, right? Which is surprising, but and like you said, the linebackers, just having you and even like Zach Politano at half kind of gives us that ability. If teams are going to motion around, both you guys are able to play the run really well. I mean, you played linebacker for a while. Zach's a really tough kid, but the versatility, I think, is what's really going to help our defense in the long run. But talk about some of our defensive coaches. Who do you want to, anybody that's made an impact on you, Sabrecat-wise, or maybe some of those guys that you're really starting to gel with?
Through my grade 9 and 10 year, what really got me into playing defense too was Christian Mahler and Reese Mahler. Christian Mahler is the head coach of the defense right now for the Sabrecats, and he's taught me a lot, and I took that with me throughout my entire season playing football at Rick, and he actually taught me a lot. And when I was playing strong safety, it just the fundamentals that he taught me, I took with me, and it actually helped me a lot to develop as the player I am right now. I really do believe in them. We have strong coaching, and they're very well rounded, and I go to bat for them.
That's awesome. Have you started bugging those guys about university ball yet? Because basically our whole defensive staff has played university football at some point, but have all for Waterloo. Well, I mean, Hutch played for Guelph and Stads played for Western, but have you started to bug those guys or ask those guys questions yet?
Yeah, they don't tell me too much right now because I go to McMaster, but I do ask them for key tips and things that I can look for and help me go to the next level, because I know it's a whole different load of competition, but I do bug them from time to time, and they do help me out, and I'm looking forward to taking that to the next level with me.
Has Hutch asked you if you remember what cover 3 is yet? I mean, coming from the American game at Rick, shorter field, skinnier field, you only got 11 guys out there. He probably would have been like, when you told him you played strong safety last year, he probably said what? But no issues so far. I mean, you played a Canadian game your whole life. It's just one season.
It's funny. Yeah, Hutch has bugged me a few times about that. It is a big transition, though, going from a small field to a bigger field. I definitely have to get back into the rhythm of things. But I find when I was playing down south, it was just a short field and a lot of crazy athletes, and we still get a lot of athletes here in the Canadian League. So I'm just going to have to get back into the rhythm of things.
Now, like you said, you played that 1 year, and you guys played American rules when you were at Rick, and so I think it's going to be good for you to have another year playing CIS rules before you head on to University McMaster, to get that adjustment period under your belt, to prepare yourself to play the 3-down game and on the larger field. Just talk a little bit about maybe your excitement to attend MAC in the fall. I know they got Coach Potasic's back at McMaster, which should be exciting for you. He was actually my coach at Laurier, offensive coordinator, receivers coach when I was there, and you can't ask for a better guy and a better coach. So it should be exciting to have him back. He had a lot of success when he was the coach at Mac. He had a lot of success at Laurier when he was there. He went off to the CFL. Just talk about your excitement for the fall and how you're preparing yourself to be successful in your first year at Mac.
I'm really grateful to get the opportunity to play at the next level, and I make sure that doesn't go to waste. Every single day I've been hitting the gym, working hard. I've been studying film too, even for the university. Like, they have us on like a workout program, and it's absolutely amazing. I love it. When I got recruited to Mac, we didn't have the head coach. I got recruited by Scott Brady and John Parks, and those are two absolutely amazing coaches that I look forward to working with at the next level. But I know that with playing in the university, I'm going to have to be better than the person next to me. I'm always going to have to prove myself in practice or on the field, or whatever the opportunity comes.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things you'll notice is during training camp and every practice, it's a competition, right? You're competing, they're your teammates, but you're competing against them for playing time. So that's one of the biggest things you'll notice is that it's a competition, and you got to bust your butt every day in practice. I know sometimes you get complacent here, especially the elite football players, but at the next level, everyone's elite, and it really is difficult. But have you reached? We have a former Sabrecat on the team, Noah Smith. Have you reached out to him at all? Have you talked to him to what you can expect?
When I actually got recruited to McMaster, I talked to him, and he was a big influence on me going there. Like, he explained it was an amazing school. Like, they have amazing football program, and also too, academic-wise, it's something that I wanted to pursue. And he spoke to me, and he just said, it's a really good school overall, and I hope you go. And it's just now I'm there, right? It's just I like it.
That's awesome. I mean, yeah. Like, the term is student athlete, so you gotta like the program you're going into. Obviously, football is the focus, especially right when you get there. Basically, got a month of football before classes even start. But focusing on this summer a little bit more. I'm gonna put you on the spot here a little bit. If there's like one guy on the defensive side with you that you're excited to watch, and maybe one guy on the offensive side that you're for Sabercats, yeah, for us. Going into this season, maybe just when we've only had 3 practices, no pads on, but you know these guys. I'm sure you heard the skinny on high school football, all that stuff. But one guy on defense, one guy on offense, you're excited to watch.
One guy on defense I'm really excited to watch is Jacob Jurich. The kid's an absolute monster. I haven't played too much against him because I was always on the defensive side of the ball.
I have to, so.
I was always on the defensive side of the ball, and he was too. The kid's an absolute monster. He's just intimidating for the other team, and I can't wait to see him play, and I can't wait for him to make big plays. For the offense side of the ball, I can't wait to see Travis Johnson out there. The kid's an absolute stud as a receiver, and he always makes big plays when you need him, and he's very clutch.
Yeah, I feel like Jacob Jurich has been kind of a consensus pick. When Rosso was on a couple weeks ago, that was his guy he picked too. And yeah, Trav coming off back-to-back DePietro wins for top receiver in the league. He was a feature guy on our offense last year. He's back. We basically aged on offense. We only graduated a couple guys last year, so we got a lot of 19-year-olds this year, which it helps. And I mean, having you back on defense, a couple other guys come out, 19-year-olds is what helps you win championships in this league big time. But on the spot here again, one more time, and don't feel pressure to answer super specifically because he's here. But Coach Premo is going into his 4th year as head coach. You're talk about him.
It's really amazing having Coach Premo as the head coach. He has a lot of football IQ, and same with Jamie Antonello. But his love for the game and his passion for the game, what makes me want to be a better person, like on and off the field. What I look forward to most is when I was in grade 11, when I had him first. I didn't know him too well. I heard of him, and it's just I got to love the guy. He's a great coach, and I love playing for him.
All right, I'm gonna cut you off. His head's getting pretty big there.
That's what I like to hear.
And off to Dave here. I know he's got some kind of off football topic questions for you.
Actually, I had to move from down the table because if I knock over that pizza or wings, that's a sin. That's a sin, let me tell you right now. I'm going to come in and get a little close. So something called the special questions. You ever heard about those? I don't know if you haven't. If you haven't, don't worry. Don't be creeped out. I know I'm real close to you right now. You can basically smell my beer breath right now from Sportscenter Bar and Grill. Jamie smells my underarm deodorant probably this close. But besides the point, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. Okay. Yeah, you probably can't even tell it any on it. It's awful. No, I'd ask you 3 questions. You got to answer them. That's my rule. You got to answer them. There's no pass. There's no looking at Preems or Jamie. So I'm just going to ask you random questions. First question. If you had to pick a girl. No, I'm just kidding. I'll stop. I'm just kidding. Favorite football team that you enjoy watching? NFL team.
Denver Broncos all the way. I can tell you right now, we're winning the Super Bowl. Got a big draft tomorrow. It's no question we're winning the Super Bowl this year.
Who are they taking in the draft then? Sticking with that. That's one question still. Number 10. Yeah.
You have number 10? I don't even know at this point. All I know is that we need a secondary. Our secondary is absolute. Yeah, our secondary is absolute shit, but we also do need O-line too, so I have no idea. Oh, we got Joe Flacco. He's decent. Elite.
Oh, God. Now, Pokemon or Dragon Ball Z?
That's a tough one. I'd have to say Pokemon. Okay. Pokemon.
That's a new question. I'm going to go to my usual question for the last one. I love this one. If I go into your phone, iPod, Walkman, CD player, I don't think you know what a Walkman is. I'm not sure. I don't think so. Do you still have yours? Actually, I have mine still. No. But either way, if I looked into that device that you listen to music to, even if it's in your car, because I'm sure you listen to this music on the way here, unless you listen to ads on the Game Sports Show, which I would give you credit for right now, but if I went in to listen to the last song you listened to, what is the song that I would be hearing? You got to be honest. I said mine was Britney Spears, so. Honest?
Mac Miller and Earl Sweatshirt, but the song before that had to be T Swift. T Swift.
Okay. Nah, I like Fearless, her old country album when she was actually hot and had a brain. Wow, sorry, I'm just kidding. A little far-fetched. I'm giving you a bonus question here. Pre-game meal, what is it?
It's either Subway. I don't know. It's Subway. Yeah, Subway.
What do you get on that sub?
Oh, it's always it's a 12-inch on white cold cut combo, lettuce, cucumbers, and jalapenos all the way. Or it's just a plate of spaghetti.
Bold move with the jalapenos in pregame, but I mean, if it works for you, might as well keep it consistent.
I was also a Subway pregame guy, so I can respect that.
All right, now you're really sucking up to him big time.
Future coach of the team here, right? Taking a job down the road. Just kidding. Those were the questions. They weren't that hard, were they?
Oh, it's pretty easy.
They're pretty fun. Except if I would ask that girl question. I'm pretty curious about what in there. Blonde, brunette, redhead. But anyway, Jamie, I'll let you wrap up the segment before you pass on over to me to conclude part 1.
Thanks, Dave. I got 2 more things for you. If you had to pick, and I like this question because when we had Ray on with Rosso a couple weeks ago, Ray asked Joe this. If you had to, who would be your early pick for team MVP right now? Like within our team, we do our team awards. If you had to make a guess, Nick's not going to do that. I know him. If you had to pick, or even if you wanted to go defensive and offensive, whatever, however you want to do it. If you had to pick somebody.
Defense and offense, or just one?
You can pick one or either, or something.
I'd say the team MVP right now. I would probably have to say. That's tough. I would probably have to say J-Rob. It's just he's been in there. He's been making throws. He has been making good reads. Our defense has been doing good. I believe that the Sabrecats has always been known for their defense. And I believe he's going to excel this season.
Nice, I like it. And last thing, you can think about it a little bit if you have to. If Do you have any questions about the upcoming season for either Coach Premo or myself? Nothing off the top of your head? You can't think of nothing? Can't think of nothing? Coach, you got anything for him?
No, just excited to have Nick back. I mean, we're hoping he makes a big impact on our defense, as we talked about. As a whole, we're excited for the roster that we're putting together right now and where we're at 3 practices in. So hopefully the guys are excited, Nick. I hope everyone's on board, and we're going to make a push for that championship again this year.
Fantastic. Any other shout-outs for the boys you want to give to?
Yeah, let's actually win a championship this year, man. Let's start making big plays. Yeah, that's it.
A lot more tame than Hunter when he called out the O-line for being slow and lazy, so I appreciate that.
Oh, I was kind of sad I missed that. Yeah. No, I mean, I think we're put together a good roster, and we've been building to a point where, I mean, we have been really successful the last couple of years, and hopefully we can just build off that.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on, Nick. I mean, I hope you enjoyed it. Nice, easy atmosphere here. Last question. If you get it wrong, I'm going to be mad. When's practice?
I believe it's Sunday 1 to 3, but we have to be at 11:15.
Ding, ding, ding. Good job. Bonus points, big time. Yeah. And again, thanks, Nick, for coming on.
Thank you for having me, guys.
You're more than welcome on any time, my friend. You're very good at talking, very funny. I'm going to ask you that girl question, though, later on in the year now that I think about it. Dave McCaig here alongside Jamie Antonello and Matt Premo for the Game Sports Show, Sportscenter Bar and Grill. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be continuing in the pocket here on the game. 75-cent wings, and it's a lively atmosphere here tonight. You know, we're talking random questions in here about girls. I'm eating a lot of hot peppers. I'm unstuffed now in the nose. I'm drinking beer. My armpits apparently smell, according to Premo. People are yelling. It must be a full moon because some people that walked in, not going to lie, to be flat out honest. But it's absolutely lively in here. So get on down to Sportscenter Bar and Grill to enjoy the great atmosphere the Sports Center offers. As I said, we're taking a break. You're listening to The Game. Don't go anywhere. The Game Sports Show wants to thank its original home, partner, and sponsor since 2015, SportsCenter Bar and Grill, named the Sioux's best sports bar for 3 years in a row. SportsCenter Bar and Grill is located on 624 Wellington Street West in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Make sure to come on down to SportsCenter to enjoy the great atmosphere with great cold beverages available, including those delicious Molson products. Don't forget about their famous 75-cent wing nights on Wednesdays. They're truly the best wings in town. Like and follow SportsCenter on Facebook at SportsCenter SSM. We look forward to seeing you today. SportsCenter Bar and Grill, the Sioux's best sports bar.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional sponsor and special edition home to the game, Silver Creek Golf Course, located on 104 Bellow Lake Road, Garden River, Ontario. And also shout out thank you to Silver Creek GM Jamie Henderson. Silver Creek Golf Course has many specials to offer for 18 holes, 9 holes, and even Twilight Deal specials. It does not matter what your level of golf game is, it is a must to enjoy the scenic course, memorable experiences that Silver Golf Course offers. Silver Creek also offers a Thursday wing night for you to enjoy food after a stellar time on the course. You can book your tee time by phone or online at golfsilvercreek.com. Silver Creek Golf Course, where all are welcome to play.
The Game Sports Show is pleased to shout out a partner, additional home, and sponsor to Northern Superior Brewing Company, located on 50 Pym Street in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Northern Superior Brewing Company having a strong presence locally with many beers to offer. With much involvement in the community of Sault Ste. Marie, Northern has a sport and friendly-like atmosphere within its tap room, and during the summer months, it is a must to visit Pier 55 to enjoy some delicious food, amazing view of the water, and view of the Bush Play Museum right on the cusp of the Hub Trail, and of course, all of that down with a delicious brew from Northern Superior. Northern Superior Brewing Company. It's a Northern thing.
Hi, this is Joe Bowen, and you're listening to the Game Sports Show from Sault Ste. Marie.
Welcome back to the Game Sports Show, the Twin Sault's only local, regional, and national sports show. And we're here live at SportsCenter Bar and Grill. Dave McCaig alongside Matt Premo and Jamie Antonello. Again, for part 2 of tonight's show, continuing our year-round in the pocket segment. And one thing I forgot to mention in the opener, Jamie, is that you took it out of your gracious heart that you ordered a mixer. You ordered a mixer for us here to have some better live on location coverage. Now people are wondering, why don't you have that right now? Big thing is, to answer that question, we went around with these nice, beautiful microphones that were provided to us, but now we want to get mixers so we have a lot of guests on, and we're going to be able to have 4 or 5 people on at a time, and we don't have to pass certain mics around. It's going to be a better listening experience. Thank you, Jamie, for the listeners. So we're very excited for that. And overall with the Game Sports Show, as we have big plans going into this year, especially with the expansion to a media company throughout the end of the year. So we have lots of big things happening. I want to give a shout out to you, Jamie, for everything that you've done there, and we're very proud and very excited to have you on board and also have a mixer here. It'll be a great opportunity for listeners and a great experience. Now, without further ado, Jamie, Matt, let's talk about the NFL Draft. Wow, it seems like just yesterday, about a month and a half ago, Jamie, we were sitting in the back corner here at Sportscenter saying, when's the draft? And we looked it up on the phone, and there it is, and it just flew here all of a sudden. We look outside. Baseball season's just around the corner locally. It's already underway and made professionals. Snow's melting. It's hot outside. Pretty soon we can go outside and we can play our own touch football game. Maybe we can have a Game Sports Show touch football game. I would definitely get clobbered in that game. But nonetheless, Jamie, I want you to kick us off with Matt talking about the NFL draft. Okay? A lot of teams in the draft. I'm sure trades are going to be very active potentially. You have Murray, who is projected to go first. I've read online that they're not going to go that route and not draft Murray. We're going to go around the table, talk about our top picks, potential picks, everything as such, potential trades, just a full NFL draft preview. And I'm going to start with you, Jamie. You get started.
Thanks, Dave. Yeah, I mean, I know Matt and I, this would have been the draft to go to. It's in Nashville, great town. Matt tells me he's been a few times. I know he's going to have some good words to say about Nashville. But, yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I mean, before that happens, I think we got to talk about the Frank Clark trade, because that gives Seattle a second pick in the first round now. Frank Clark traded to Kansas City. I believe for Kansas City's second round, first round pick this year, and then Seattle and Kansas City traded third round picks. But yeah, interesting, man. I mean, they're paying him a lot of money. I think it puts his average annual value at like $21 million, which puts him third in defensive players, only behind Khalil Mack and Aaron Donald. I mean, Frank Clark, he's had some production. He's had some couple good years in Seattle. That's really pushing the market, though, in my opinion. I know that Kansas City lost Justin Houston and Dee Ford, so your top two pass rushers are gone. So that was a major void, and they didn't want to risk it in the draft, but now that puts you without a first-round pick if you're Kansas City. I mean, you got one of the best QBs under center, one of the best young guys coming off of an MVP season. But as far as the draft goes, I mean, Kyler Murray's the big discussion. I'm kind of curious to see what your guys' thoughts are on that. I really don't know. It's Cliff Kingsbury, new coach. I personally think they're going to take him. They may not. I wouldn't be surprised either way. I think they're going to take him, though. I mean, he's kind of that Mike Vick talent, right? Like, can move, huge arm, exciting tape to watch. He kind of, as much as the measurables don't really matter anymore, because you see Russell Wilson and Drew Brees and even Baker Mayfield last year, like shorter quarterbacks that are having a lot of success, not struggling when they get to the next level. And then Kyler Murray has, above and beyond all those guys, has his running ability, even better than Russell Wilson, I would say, for sure. I honestly, we're what, 22 hours away, 22 and a half hours away from figuring it out. But I think they're going to take him. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, there's two real storylines I'm looking at in this draft. One is particularly because I'm a Giants fan, as most of the listeners know. So it's interesting to see what they're going to do with their number 6 overall pick. If they go for, if they stay there, if they go with the quarterback. But the other one, as JB mentioned, is Kyler Murray going to go number 1 overall? It seems to be unanimous that everyone's predicting that Arizona's going to pick him. If that is the case, I think they have to move Rosen. So where does he go? Does New England go after him, and he's the heir apparent for Brady? Do the Giants maybe go after him in a trade? It'd be interesting to see. Those are the two real storylines that I'm following heading into the draft. We'll see how it plays out. I mean, the top 10 looks to be loaded with edge rushers, so that's the real strength of this draft. There's going to be quite a few of them going early, and I know there's some running backs that went high in the last couple of years, but it looks like may not be one drafted in the first round. So a couple storylines to follow. It's almost impossible to predict. The experts barely get it right, so it's it's tough because there's going to be trades likely, and people are going to move up and down the draft board. Obviously, teams have some needs. As a Giants fan, definitely we have a need for a quarterback. As much as the GM thinks that Eli has a couple of good years left, I don't see it. He may start the season, and I wouldn't mind see him start the season, but I would like to see someone take over, someone a little more athletic that can move, play action pass with Barkley in the backfield. So we'll see how things play out. And maybe Arizona, in terms of the number one overall pick, maybe they're pulling the wool over everyone's eyes and leading on that they're going to take Kyler Murray. And maybe they go a different route and they go with one of those elite edge rushers that's at the top of the draft, or maybe they trade back down. As a Giants fan, I wouldn't mind seeing Kyler Murray there at number 6 if they don't pick him. I think he's athletic, dynamic, and that's the type of quarterback that's successful in today's NFL. You look, Russell Wilson, undersized but really athletic, and he's the highest paid quarterback now in the NFL. So I think that's similar comparables for Kyler Murray. And who knows, maybe the Giants even trade up and try and get him if that's even a possibility. So I like Kyler Murray ahead of some of the other quarterbacks in the draft. I know most people have Dwayne Haskins slated to go to the Giants at number 6. I'm not a huge Haskins fan. I like some of the other quarterbacks better. I like more mobile quarterbacks personally. He seems more of a pocket passer, but it should be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to watch tomorrow. I'll be tuned in for sure watching. As Jamie mentioned, I would love to be there in person in Nashville. It's a great city. It's good to see that they're having the draft there. And yeah, I mean, it's as always, it should be interesting to watch how it all plays out.
To give my end, I'm going to throw a little curveball, especially you being a Giants fan. Why wouldn't this be a potential thing? Why wouldn't the Cardinals draft Murray? Giants make a trade for Rosa. Would that be a potential thing that might happen? I think if I'm going to see a trade happen, I think the Cardinals, by them saying they're not going to draft Murray, I can't see, unless they have a deal done with Oakland and they're just waiting to have that announcement at the draft, or maybe they have a deal elsewhere for that first overall pick. May it be the Giants, just top of my head, can't think of anything else really except the Giants or Raiders are the top 2 guys that might potentially move up. Raiders more. I really can't see Arizona trading this pick, though. I can read the outlets, all the different articles, and how the experts are saying how the Cardinals are not going to draft Murray, how they're looking at moving the pick, or if they want to go down in the draft, whatever it may be. I can't see them not drafting Murray. And the size, I'm not really concerned about the size in today's NFL. It's not as, it's not as quarterback. You don't need to be a Ben Roethlisberger to survive in the NFL is what I want to say. You don't need to be a big, threatening quarterback. You just need to be a smart quarterback who can throw the football. Patrick Mahomes obviously isn't a small guy as Murray is, but you know what? He's mobile. He's athletic. As long as you're an athletic quarterback, I think you'll succeed in the National Football League. So I've been reading and looking at a lot of mock drafts today, and just even here, sitting here, looking at a lot of different options that may occur in the NFL draft. And I'm a big Nick Bosa fan. Obviously, I think it's inevitable that he goes to San Francisco, I'm sure. But I don't know if Arizona would consider going that route. I highly doubt it. They would trade down and gain some maximum value. But one player that really sticks out to me that I've really gained interest in, and one player last year stuck out to me was Vander Esch with the Cowboys. I was a big fan. I'm a big fan of defensive players. I'm a huge fan of Devin Bush, a linebacker. So he played in Michigan this year. Saw different games where I actually saw him play on TV. And I'm a Steeler fan. Okay, so if I'm going to go the Steeler route, I know they would probably like a corner. A lot of experts saying Rock Ya-Sin. I may have pronounced his name wrong. Rock Ya-Sin, I think that might be a way they might consider going. Or they might go a Byron Murphy kind of route in the 20th, that 23rd pick is where the Lions are projected to get Brian Murphy. But why not have the Steelers move up in the draft to get Devin Bush? I think that is where they're lacking. I think that'd be a big improvement. So that's one player, though, in the draft I think is going to pull away and everyone's going to surprise and be an immediate impact in the National Football League this year. And another player that I like I said, I'm going back to is Nick Bosa. Maybe if I'm the Cardinals, San Francisco's maybe sitting there at second saying, you know what, we're going to get Nick Bosa. Why not Arizona go down and maybe look at, if you want to look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, maybe if you want to look at another team that might need defense, I think maybe the Green Bay Packers might look that route too, maybe if you throw a good intriguing offer to them. Because you don't want, if you're not going to draft Murray and you're going to move down the next best player, maybe you want to take that for yourself and move for somebody who wants to gain that additional kind of assets, right? And that's where I see the big thing that really sticks out to me is that they're going to draft Murray, but Rosen getting dealt to the Giants is something that's just been really sticking out to me because Eli Manning is not the guy, I don't think, that's going to lead you to any Super Bowl anytime soon. And I think the Giants have to look at building the team with Barkley. They have to build that from the running back end, and they have to kind of go on the young side of the football. I think it would be a good way to go moving on from Eli Manning. They've already moved on from Odell Beckham to the Browns, and that's another team in the draft. Looking at the Cleveland Browns. Okay, looking at some projected drafts, the Browns don't have their pick this year, obviously. They made the move with the Giants, but maybe they try to get back into the picks and draft a good stud in the top 10. I'm not sure. The Browns are going to be very active. Be very, very active. But a team that I'm expecting to be active, very much especially, is definitely the Steelers, but most definitely a team that might be active that people may not see is the Indianapolis Colts. I'm really watching out for the Indianapolis Colts after having a big season this year. I'm curious to see if they're going to be a team that moves up. They don't need a quarterback. They're really good on the receiver end. They had that kid this year that they drafted. What's that?
The
linebacker with the Indianapolis Colts there. The rookie with Darius Leonard. Thank you very much. Sorry. I'm kind of curious to see if they would move up and see how Patricia does at his first draft with the Lions. So, very curious draft. Some of my top 10 picks. I got Kyler Murray going first. I see Arizona drafting him. Nick Bosa going 2. I got actually Ed Oliver going 3rd to the Jets. And I got Quinnen Williams going 4th. I actually want to say the Bucs are going to draft Josh Allen and Devin White's going to go the Giants route, kind of reversing some picks there. And going at 7th, I've been kind of looking at Jonah Williams going over to Jacksonville. I see that would maybe make sense. And I see TJ Hawkinson going over to Houston with Andre Dilfer going to Houston. Then Steelers moving up to the 10th pick to get Devin Bush. That's going to round out my top 10 where I think if the Steelers cannot move up to get him at linebacker, they will stay where they are, and they'll draft corner with Rocky Ya-Sin. It's kind of where I would see them ending up. So that's my kind of projections. They're very active, very all over the place, but teams are going to be busy. It's going to be a lot of trades at this draft. Jamie, I'm going back to you for some more thoughts.
Wow, that was a rant, Dave.
Did you like it or no?
I mean, it was okay. You were just talking for a while. I kept wanting to... Yeah, very, very bold predictions. You talked about Devin Bush. I think he's a great linebacker. Him and Devin White both performed really well at the Combine. Devin White at LSU. They're probably going to be the top 2 linebackers. I'll say off-the-ball linebackers off. Josh Allen, who's edge rusher out of Kentucky. He's going to go top 5, I think. Quinnen Williams, another guy out of Alabama. He's their nose tackle. Another guy who's kind of got that Aaron Donald comparison. That's because he's that lighter interior guy, really, really quick. I'm really curious to see what happens with the receiver class, to be honest. I mean, you got DK Metcalf, Marquise Brown, bunch of guys in there. And then what else is curious to me is potentially 2 tight ends from the same team going to be the top 2 tight ends off the board, right? TJ Hawkinson and then his teammate Noah Fant could potentially both go off in the first round. I mean, it's be even more curious if a team did like what New England did when they drafted Gronk and Hernandez in the same season. Thanks, Matt. R.I.P. Yeah, whoosh. No, but it's definitely defensive heavy. But I still think you're going to get QBs in the top 10. There's just no way avoiding it. It's a quarterback-driven league. You need a QB if you're going to compete. I don't think there's going to be any team like Baltimore that's going to have Trent Dilfer take them to a Super Bowl. Like, we haven't seen that in a while, to be honest. Even like when the Giants won last time, Eli played unbelievable in the playoffs. He was great those stretches, but you can't get a QB who's playing really subpar or like 500 football. You're going that 12 interception thing, barely rolling through. It's just not going to happen. So DK Metcalf, I mean, obviously he shredded the Combine. You see the pictures of him working out, and he looks enormous. Like, the guy looks like he's 280 playing D tackle. But It's always kind of a crapshoot until you get to the night of, because somebody's going to trade up in the top 5 or the top 10, and then everybody's board is out the window.
Is there anyone who's rated top 10 that you guys seen falling out of the top 10, maybe into even the second round? Any kind of dramatics like that can you think are going to happen in this draft?
I don't know. We'll find out. I don't know about dropping out of the first round, but I don't know. Everyone's predicting, like I said, for Haskins to go at 6. I think he drops further than people may think. There's a couple other quarterbacks. There's now Daniel Jones has been just rising up the draft board, all the mock drafts. There's talks about him going to the Giants. It is really hard to predict. I don't see too many guys dropping like a rock out of the first round, but we'll see. It happens just about every year, and it's always interesting and exciting. You have the camera on the guy sitting there and in the green room, and pick by pick he gets passed by, and I think the NFL kind of enjoys that. It's a little bit entertainment, but it's never nice to see that guy sit there a la Aaron Rodgers back in the day, and then just gets passed by. It's never good to see. You see some of the guys that opt out on the draft and they decide to stay home and then maybe do that fact, right? They don't want to sit there on national TV and be passed over pick after pick. But in terms of draft order, I mean, I'm not going to get too much into predictions of who's going to go 1 through 10. I know we like to keep a little local flair. I know a lot of people are Steelers fans locally. Obviously, their needs are on the defensive side of the ball. Even with losing Antonio Brown, I think their offense will be just fine. And Juju's the man. I'm a big Juju fan. I think he replaces Antonio Brown. Probably a better teammate as can be seen.
Better hair too.
Yeah, as can be seen by Antonio Brown's recent social media action. So I think Juju's the man. He'll be just fine. Ben just signed an extension, basically solidified himself to retire in Pittsburgh.
3 years.
So, and then you got the Le'Veon Bell leaves, but you got last season Connor, and he proved he can do just as good a job. So definitely their needs on the defense side of the ball. So you're going to see them maybe go after an elite cornerback, like you mentioned, or a linebacker. They really need to find the answer on defense. I think their offense sorts itself out. Their defense is where is going to be the big difference. Another local team, obviously, a lot of Detroit fans in the area. I think they got to go edge rusher. You're looking at Montez Sweat. The guy's a freak. Sweat, yeah, Montez Sweat. Yeah, there's some health issues there, but I think and then the guy's played football, hasn't had any issues, so that might be a good landing spot for him is with the Lions. And obviously Green Bay, they're kind of rebuilding that defense right now. 2 first-round picks, rebuilding that defense. I'm looking for them to go to the defense side of the ball, pass rusher, linebacker. They really need to add to their defense. And running back's always been an ongoing issue there in Green Bay. So I don't know. Maybe they pick up a running back in the second round, or Josh Jacobs in the first. Like these are definitely potential landing spots. You can see like with Aaron Rodgers, you're able to plug and play receiver. So I don't think they reach for a receiver. You have these guys that just plug and play and they put up numbers. So from a local fan base and kind of the teams that are popular in this area, that's what I see their needs being and where some of these guys go.
You mentioned Ben Roethlisberger signed a 3-year contract extension today with the Pittsburgh Steelers, which is a lot of reaction from his teammates on social media. James Conner doing the hands together. It's great to see because he's great in the locker room, big leader of that team, and very happy to have seen him grow as much as he did and win the championships that he has. I think he still has more in him, but you attested to it. The defensive side of the football is where the Steelers have their issues. And seeing videos of Ryan Shazier getting back into shape, if that doesn't get you, I'm going to swear, fucking motivated, I don't know what does. That guy had his spinal cord, his vertebrae, whatever. He got absolutely shattered in a hit. I can't recall the team that he played against now off the top of my head, but at the end of the day, it was a very awkward hit. And usually anyone else that injury, you fold up like a lawn chair, much like the Toronto Maple Leafs did against the Boston Bruins yesterday. You fold up like a lawn chair and you're done, but Shazier's not. That's pure motivation. And I hope to God one day that he puts on the pads one more time and comes out to play. Not just because of his talent, but just because of a great success story that would be. But the Steelers need to address the defensive side, but it almost seems like you said the Lions need a good edge rusher. wouldn't they love to get Josh Allen somehow? Wouldn't that be a goal for them to somehow try to move up in the draft without sacrificing too much? That'd be the most perfect scenario, but there's other options for them lower in the draft where they don't have to sacrifice too much of their future. But Patricia kind of wants to put together a good team and a good chemistry-wise team like the Patriots are, because that's where he came from. Having Amendola go there already, he's already solidifying some leadership in that locker room. It's going to be exciting to see what the Lions do. I'm very excited. And I like what the projectors have the Patriots picking with their last pick. A tight end, Noah Fant. And we all know why they're projecting a tight end. Gronkowski retiring. That's something that we haven't talked about much here on the show. I know we like to touch on that before we go into break, obviously, but the Patriots looking for a tight end. Does that surprise you that they might move up in the draft to try to maybe get a tight end to replace Gronkowski right away, Jamie?
It kind of would surprise me, to be honest, because that's not usually what the Patriots do. If anything, if, let's say, Noah Fant or Hawkinson were to drop to them, for sure, they may go for it. Or if they think one of them's going to keep dropping, they may try and back out of the first round a little bit, try and grab some draft capital out of it. But I would be surprised if they climbed up. If anything, they usually want to get rid of their pick, bump back in the draft, or they almost always take big advantage of their first round pick. As you can hear, Sportscenter is lively.
Yeah, I don't see Hawkinson dropping to them, but Fant may drop to them. Like they said, they're not going to reach for anything, and they're going to take the best player available. Or if they don't agree that someone is worth taking, they'll trade down and get those draft picks, as seen in the past, and it's how they're successful. They load up on draft picks and they don't overpay, and so it'll be interesting to see. Back to Josh Allen going to the Lions. I just don't think he falls that far. I think if he was there, they would love him because his versatility. Patricia, the Patriot way, they like their defensive guys to be versatile, rush, drop in coverage, and he's a guy that can do that. I just don't think he drops that far.
I'm excited for this draft more so than other years because I'm a big fan of trade activity at drafts. I love when teams take that risk. You see the movie Draft Day? Everyone in the team has seen that. It is a movie. It is. I get it. It is a movie. I don't think that trade at the end would ever happen ever again. But at the end of the day, love when trade activity happens. I love when GMs are invested, and I really think there's a lot of talent in this draft. People could consider moving up if they need to fill a void in their lineup. Any final thoughts throughout the draft, fellas? I'm going to go around the horn before I get to talk about Odell Beckham with Matt Premo. We never asked him that. I want him to have a couple minutes on the floor to give his reaction about Odell Beckham going to the Browns. Yes, that is older news, but we still need to give you a chance to discuss it. But any final thoughts about the draft?
Not really. I mean, we'll know a lot more around 6:30 tomorrow night because something's going to come out about somebody, and they're going to drop out of the top 10. Happens every year. I mean, look what happened to Laramie Tunsil, what was it, 6 years ago? Got that gas mask video. And if you ever listen to the Pat McAfee show, all he says is, that should bring his stock up. The guy didn't cough once. His lung capacity is ridiculous. But, yeah, something like that's going to happen. So maybe you see one of these pass rushers or an offensive lineman, something drop. Who knows? We see guys that drop out of the draft completely because of, like, charges against them, and then the charges get dropped, and then somebody gets a free agent pickup that they would have had to pay first-round money for. But, no, I'm excited. Less than a day away. Can't wait.
Dreams.
Yeah, no, same here. Just excited to see how it all plays out, and this is the real kickoff to the 2019 season, so this is what really gets everyone excited and kind of keeps those juice flowing and gets ready for September. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be some interesting storylines. Trades would be great to see where some of these quarterbacks land, and there's going to be some great draft picks, and there's going to be some mistakes, but that's just the way the draft is every year.
One last thing. When's the last time you guys can remember where a draft pick would be jacked out of their mind to get picked by Cleveland? Because that's kind of where it is right now, right? And I know that kind of ties into what you want to talk about now, but it's interesting.
The Browns. Speaking of the Browns, Primo, your boy, Odell Beckham, gets dealt to not the Patriots, not the Steelers, not the Raiders, not the Rams, not the Dolphins, not the frickin' New Orleans Saints. He goes to the Cleveland Browns. Baker Mayfield must be absolutely pumped Cleveland fans I know are absolutely pumped. They have every right to be. I want your reaction about Antonio Brown. Here we go. Odell Beckham, going over to the Cleveland Browns.
I think most people expect as a Giants fan for me to be super upset with this trade. I hate to lose the best receiver in the NFL or one of the best receivers in the NFL. I think everyone would hate to lose the best receiver. But at the same time, there was no more value than right now, right? You're going to get the most value. People say they didn't get enough. A first-round pick, a second-round pick, and a first-round pick from last year is pretty good. So basically, you got 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick. That's quite good in my mind.
Steelers get for Brown again? Yeah, 36.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the Giants did well in terms of compensation for him. Obviously, you can never replace the best receiver in the NFL, but if you're not winning anyway and you're looking to rebuild a team, get those draft picks. And I wish the GM would go all in on the rebuild and just get rid of Eli, cut ties with some of these guys, and they did with some of these veteran guys. They let them go. They signed in the division, which is never good, but I don't hate the trade as much as people may think I was going to hate the trade. And I'm still an Odell Beckham fan. Some of his off-the-field stuff was a little much. I think he was a good teammate. I think he cared a lot. I think he was competitive in that sense. But sometimes the things you do off the field, whether it's smashing, kicking nets, or going on the boat cruise before a playoff game, or crying and then proposing to just cut it out, man. Just play football. Is he talented? Yes, unreal. And I think he's going to be awesome in Cleveland. I think he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. I think him and his Jarvis Landry have been friends since high school. I think reuniting is going to be awesome for them. Baker Mayfield has the swagger. That guy is unreal. I think he's going to prove himself as one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL in his sophomore year. And they pick up Kareem Hunt, he's got to sit out. They have one of the best tight ends, Joku. Yeah, the guy's super athletic. And then
Jarvis Landry there already.
Yeah, Jarvis Landry, Odell's buddy, and then you're gonna Nick Chubb's your starting running back, and then you got Kareem Hunt coming in after a suspension. That offense is going to be dynamic. The defense is also pretty stacked. That's a good roster. They have no excuse not to make the playoffs. If they don't make the playoffs, that's a bust. I would like to see them get it done. I'm a big Baker Mayfield fan, so I wish them success, even though it was maybe their success would be at the expense of the Giants. But the Giants are in a rebuild anyway, so I'm not really upset about it. Hopefully things start building for the future. You have arguably the best running back in the NFL now, the Giants. So you got to build around them, get a quality O-line, get a young athletic quarterback, and build that defense and that defensive line to what it used to be, and they'll be fine. So hopefully the GM can get it figured out there. He might be on a short leash if he doesn't get it figured out, which he should be. Here's to see what happens. I wish Odell all the best. I hope the Browns make the playoffs. I hope they do well. I hope Baker does well. And it may not be the reaction people thought, but I think it worked out. It's good for both teams. And the Browns, AFC North champs. I don't know. What do you think?
Ouch. Yeah, it might happen. It's because I'm worried as a Steeler fan, a little worried that team. But you know what? No soft spot for the Browns, right? It's been a rough go for Browns fans. Okay, they got too rough of a go. So you know what? I can handle that. So I want to take a quick break, fellas. When we come back, we're going to have part 3 of the show. We're going to talk about the NBA, Toronto Raptors especially. After losing game 1, the fellas battled back the last 4 games and absolutely throttled the Orlando Magic in the last game. It wasn't even really a basketball game. But we're going to get into that when we come back from break. So don't go anywhere. You're listening to The Game Sports Show. The Game Sports Show wants to thank its original home, partner, and sponsor since 2015, Sportscenter Bar and Grill, named the Sioux's best sports bar for 3 years in a row. Sportscenter Bar and Grill is located on 624 Wellington Street West in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Make sure to come on down to Sportscenter to enjoy the great atmosphere with great cold beverages available, including those delicious Molson products. Don't forget about their famous 75-cent wing nights on Wednesdays. They're truly the best wings in town. Like and follow SportsCenter on Facebook at SportsCenter SSM. We look forward to seeing you today. SportsCenter Bar and Grill, the Sioux's best sports bar.
Get Wicked Catering from the crew at the Wicked Sister.
We like to think of ourselves as foodies. While our favorite foods are paired with a beer tasting at the Wicked Sister, you can now have the same creative menu for your next catered business luncheon, family get-together, wedding, or holiday party. Our white truffle risotto appeals to your gluten-free and vegetarian guests. Add sautéed shrimp or freshly grilled chicken for a pop of protein. Or let us build you a custom menu to suit your needs. From plated events of 15 to buffets for 200, the Wicked Sister will cater your event with tapas, snacks, cravables, or a full sit-down dinner.
The Wicked Sister, where you'll be treated like family, whether you like it or not.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank a list of additional sponsors. North Shore Sports and Auto, new location located on 647 McDonald Avenue, Sault Ste. Marie. A family-owned and operated business with doing business in Sault Ste. Marie for over 10 years. Loads of products available for your enjoyment for all seasons. North Shore Sports and Auto, we understand the importance of quality service and products, and we work hard to ensure that all customers have a positive experience before and after each and every sale. North Shore Sports and Auto, meeting all of your new and pre-owned equipment needs. Special thanks to Salon. The Salon, located on 589 2nd Line East, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Owned and operated by Mike Cuglietta. Book your appointment today at 705-941-9191 or via online at https://thesalonsioux.as.me-. The Salon, making the Sioux beautiful, one haircut at a time. As well as a shout out to the Superior Pro Shop. The Superior Pro Shop, located inside the Community First Credit Union Superior Arena on 285 Northern Avenue East, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Owned and operated by Jeremy Paquin and ran by Larry Monroe. Superior Pro Shop, for over 40 years, meet all of your skate sharpening, skate repair, and hockey needs. Also to Discover the Canvas. Discover the Canvas, located on 317 Wellington Street West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. A beautiful new renovated building owned and operated by expert artist and Sioux native Katrina Thibodeau. Katrina taking her talents of the ink in Sault Ste. Marie and truly creating the best and most realistic art locally. Call Katrina today at 705-450-8099 or email her at discoverthecanvas@gmail.com to book your tattoo or consultation today.
Hi, this is Paul Maurice from the Winnipeg Jets, and you're listening to the Game Sports Show.
Welcome back to the Game Sports Show, the Twin Sault's only local, regional, and national sports show. We're here live at Sportscenter Bar and Grill, getting ready for part 3 of tonight's show. Dave McCaig alongside Matt Premo and Jamie Antonello. We just concluded our In the Pocket segment in the previous part, and we opened the show with In the Pocket there as well. Lots of football news locally, professionally, getting all strapped up for Sabrecat season and the National Football League draft coming up. And before I get into part 3, a couple shout-outs here I want to give to Northern Quitters in Need, as I am still fostering a dog named Kendrick from there, who is absolutely amazing. If you need a dog to have good company with and just be your best friend, this is the dog for you. Please reach out to myself or Quitters or anyone on the Game Sports Show for additional information on that one. Now, as well to that, I must say out to the other point, I want to say that the Sioux Thunderbirds, it was official that the Hearst Lumberjacks did win 6-3, so the Thunderbirds did fall in Game 7 in the NOJHL Finals there, and we currently have the Carolina Hurricanes in action in the background here against the Washington Capitals in Game 7 in overtime. It's about 7 minutes into the first overtime right now, and we'll keep you updated as we go here on the show. And if the game's over, but by the time we conclude tonight's show, we'll definitely update you on that. Lots of Game 7 overtimes. I know last night Toronto didn't get into overtime, though. As you can tell, I'm pretty jealous and a little upset on my end over here. But we do have a team from Toronto that is going in the second round, the Toronto Raptors. And that's what we're going to get into right now. We're going to get into the Toronto Raptors, and we'll talk about all around NBA before we conclude tonight's show. The Raptors defeated the Orlando Magic last night, and they won in decisive fashion as well. Like they won 115-96 was the score, but throughout the entirety of the game, they were up by pretty near 30, I believe, 35 at one point. They won 107-85 back in Game 4. You know, Game 1 was a tough loss, lose by 3 points there on home court, but the Raptors didn't look back from there. Okay, Kawhi Leonard looked fantastic. Pascal Siakam, everyone looked great. Everyone was just on fire. I got to give a lot of credit to Kawhi, really stepping up here. He's looking rested. He's looking like he's ready to go for the entirety of the playoffs here. The Raptors do go in the second round, as we predicted, the 76ers. That is a very tough second round matchup, okay? And right now, you have the other side where you have the Celtics against the Bucks. the Celtics, who just cleaned house on the Pacers, but without Oladipo there, they kind of had a set there where if they maybe were healthy, the Pacers, it would have been a different ballgame. But we're going to get into more NBA stuff now a little bit. We're just talking about the Raptors here. They're going against the 76ers. All-around thoughts here on what the Raptors can do to maintain success against the Sixers. And the reason why I say maintain is because they've been pretty good against them all year. Maybe it's maintain status quo, but playoffs is a completely different ballgame. Preems.
Yeah, actually, I would prefer this matchup. I like the Sixers matchup for the Raptors over potentially having to play Boston.
Toronto-Boston doesn't really work out.
Yeah, it doesn't work out. I think they match up better against the Sixers. I know the Sixers have a lot of talent. I mean, Joel Embiid, you got Jimmy Butler, and Simmons. I mean, Simmons doesn't have a jump shot yet, so, I mean, you can limit him. But just watching that first-round series, the Sixers against Brooklyn, like, emotionally, like, unstable. Like, they let themselves get sucked into these confrontations with Brooklyn, who had no business even being in any games. I think the Raptors are a lot more mature team. They've had playoff success over the last couple of years. They know what their goal is. Their goal is make it conference championship, NBA championship. Sixers are still young. I mean, with Kawhi, you got that veteran leadership. Danny Green, Kyle Lowry, like Serge Ibaka, and then you add, Pascal Siakam. He's younger, but I mean he's consistent, right? And I think I like that aspect. I think they match up well. Embiid's gonna be trouble for anyone, but But the Raptors got better defensively, adding Gasol. He's maybe the flashes guy. You may not see it when you watch it on TV, but he does the subtle things right. And you watch his plus minus when he's on the floor. It's great. And defensively, I don't know if he's going to be matched up against Embiid, but the guy's been a defensive player of the year before, so I think that helps. Serge is always battling hard. The guy just competes, right? He's an animal. So I like the matchup. Embiid's going to give them trouble, but Simmons, without having a jumper, I mean, his only threat is in transition and beating you off the dribble. So hopefully they can keep him in check and prevent him from those fast break points and beating you off the dribble. So I do like the matchup. Raptors show they have a lot of composure, losing game one, coming back, bullying them the next 4 games, didn't phase them. I think they're going to win this series. I think obviously Sixers are going to give them some trouble. They're going to win a couple games. But in the end, I think this is a series that the Raptors are able to pull off and win. The other Eastern Conference matchup is going to be great, I think. I mean, Boston and Milwaukee is going to be very entertaining. Boston seemed to be peaking at the right time. It's almost as if the regular season was a formality for them, and now that the playoffs are here, they're kind of gearing up. And Milwaukee, I mean, they were dominant in the first round, and yeah, I mean, the Greek Freak, who I don't know how you stop him. He's so athletic and big and long, and it's just he's been great. So this should be an interesting series because Kyrie Irving was by like maybe the MVP of the first round. Like, he was unreal. His shooting percentage was like in the 70s. It was crazy, and he dictated the play in that series, and he was great. So I think that series is gonna be awesome. I think that might go like to the limit, 7 games. I know the Western Conference is still kind of shaping up. It looks like it's going to be the Warriors and the Rockets. And then right now, there's a couple good series. One good series left there with Denver and San Antonio. So we'll see what happens there. But Dame last night, man, that was just about from half court. That was unreal. But he knew he had a spot where he was going to shoot it from. He got to his spot. Paul George couldn't do anything. Even Paul George said it was a bad shot. Probably is a bad shot. I don't know how many times you think like between half court and the 3-point line is a good shot. So
shot choice, incredible shot.
Unreal. But he knew he picked his spot on the floor basically, and he knew what spot he wanted to get to and where he was going to take that shot from, and he took the shot and he made it, and it's unreal. I'm a big Damian Lillard fan, and I think he's underrated. Him playing in Portland doesn't get the respect he deserves, so I'm happy to see him go on to the next round. So we'll see who they match up against, whether Denver can close out that series or not, or San Antonio comes back. So some great, I think the second round matchups in the NBA are going to be really entertaining. So we'll see how it all shapes out. I don't know, what were your thoughts, Jamie?
I'll kind of do the recap there like you guys did. The Raps series, the Raps realistically could have still won game 1, and I think they shot in like the 20% range or something ridiculous, and it still came down to the last shot. So you knew that series wasn't going to be an issue. It's not a problem whatsoever, but Yeah, Damian Lillard. I mean, ill-advised shot, but I mean, down to the wire. You're the safety of still being able to go to overtime. Unbelievable. Like Paul George said, what are you gonna do? He was like 4 feet outside the 3-point arc defending him. We didn't think the guy was gonna pull up from that point. Then there was still 3 seconds left. You kind of thought he was gonna do a drive and settle, but you figured that they'd be able to handle him. That Boston and Milwaukee, man, that's gonna be exciting. If Kyrie keeps playing the way he is and Giannis keeps playing the way he is, it's going to be fun basketball to watch at the very least. But, the Philly series is going to be interesting. I mean, Embiid was in and out of the lineup in that first round. And then you got Kyle Lowry, who had a finger injury in Game 5. I don't think that's going to be an issue. But, I mean, you never know. I mean, Kyle's had his issues in the playoffs before. One little injury may throw him off. But as long as he's still taking 4 charges a game and forcing guys to foul out, man, that's such a luxury to have. But I think a guy to watch for Philly is going to be Tobias Harris. He was shooting like an animal in the first round. Big deadline acquisition for them. Loaded up. Even though Simmons doesn't really have his jump shot game, I mean, he's so dangerous on the break, so you got to limit that if you're Toronto. But I think our defense is so good, and we can put like between 5 and 8 guys out there that can lock down on defense. It's not an issue. It's not like we are really limited. If somebody fouls out, we're screwed. I mean, sure, Kawhi fouls out. Yeah, that's a problem. But I think we honestly have the depth to be able to handle no matter what's going to go on.
Good full analysis there, fellas, as the cord of the microphone goes into the hot pepper of the pizza.
We're still recording?
And we're still recording.
Has anyone, the update on OG, like his he had his appendix out, and they said he might be, I wonder if he's back, because I mean, he's a good...
Yeah, he's a guy who's going to play.
I wonder if he's supposed to return. I mean, he's a good guy defensively, obviously, that helps out defensively on both sides of the floor. And I know they got McCaw now, too. He's a defensive specialist, so maybe see a little bit more to him to lock down maybe Tobias or something like that. It'll be interesting to see how the teams decide to match up in the coaching decisions, but both Eastern Conference series look to be great. Fun to watch for sure.
I know a lot of people have the Bucks as a favorite over the Celtics, rightfully so, because of seeding, but gotta watch out for Boston, man. They're clicking, like you guys said, at the right time. And, the Houston Rockets have defeated the Jazz, so they're moving on into the next round. And then the Clippers and Warriors right now are 3-1 in the series. They play tonight at 10:30. So that tip-off will be just momentarily there at Oracle. They're there with Golden State. Denver and San Antonio, 3-2 Denver in that series. But that'll be the last first-round series right now that is going to be going on as we have in the NBA, the second-round matchup in the East already all determined. What do you have, listeners? Do you have the Raptors defeating the Sixers? If so, how many games? How's your NBA bracket looking? I'm sure it's a lot better than your NHL bracket. Let me tell you right now. Carolina, Washington, 3-3, 7 minutes left in the overtime period, in the first overtime period, as we get to our closing here. So if you hear the live edition, you have to make sure you're watching over on the television. If you're hearing this on the pre-recorded, you already know what happens. Preems.
And that's why the NHL is better than the NBA. Anything can happen.
Like that. Jamie, any final thoughts on tonight's show before we get to the final sentences and my final statement?
No, I thought it was a good show. I was happy to have Nick on. We got to talk to him about him heading to MAC in the fall to play university football. Another guy from Sabrecat's program, and Sault Ste. able to go to the next level. We wish him the best of luck. And I mean, more importantly, he's going to help us in our pursuit of a championship this summer. Excited to have Matt back on here after a couple weeks. I know he's been busy, but hopefully we'll get him on a few more times this summer, talk Sabercats, especially once we start getting closer to the game. I mean, we're less than a month away from our first game here, so starting to get antsy. Come next week, we're going to be practicing more than once a week, which is nice. I mean, we really can get the pads on, start to see what the team looks like, and I know the other media and the Sioux has already started reaching out, so we get some articles out. Hopefully keep the podcast rolling, and I'm excited.
Great stuff, fellas, as always. I want to say thank you for you guys for coming on by. Preem, will say thank you to you as well as sign you off.
Yeah, no, I'm looking to make my return and be on the show more frequently in the near future, especially as the season ramps up here and as we get started. We always appreciate the Game Sports Show helping promote the Sabrecat program and having our players on. It's great for exposure, great for our players, and they really enjoy it when they come on the show. So we appreciate the Game Sports Show doing that and then letting us come on and talk football and talk local football specifically. So we're excited. I'm going to be on the show hopefully more frequently as the season goes on. Hopefully we're talking about the success that we're having and how we're building a championship contender. But yeah, looking forward to having a lot of fun in the near future here.
Yeah, I hope our first couple post-game shows this season aren't after losses like last summer. That was a tough one.
Yeah, we got to find a way to win week 1 this year.
Brantford at home.
And speaking of that, you're one of the co-hosts here on the show, Preems, and you're not in the picture here up at Sportscenter. It's Dustin, who has turned into a casual employee due to his busy life with his house, his kid. He's got a lot going on, does Dustin. But we're going to have retakes here this summer. I don't have a date set yet, but this summer we will have retakes here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill, so we have updated pictures. And now, again, thank you to Jamie and Matt, obviously Nick, for coming on by here tonight as well. I want to thank you to Frank Ligori and our listeners, our faithful listeners, and to Sportscenter Bar and Grill, Frank Ligori, and the beautifuls, put a plural there, Jen and Alicia. I just made it up. Beautifuls.
It's already plural.
Okay, the beautiful Jen and Alicia.
Easy.
Thanks for the English lesson too, Mr. Antonello. I just felt like I spiced it up a little bit. Beautifuls.
Teacher, eh? Did he tell you he's going to be a teacher?
Is he actually?
He's going back to school.
Oh, holy shit. That a boy. I don't think I listened.
We're going to have to do remote podcasts.
Yeah, that's why you bought the okay.
You didn't want me to replace him. So you had to buy the soundboard to be on the podcast.
Oh, yeah, I'm not replaced. I'm not. You guys are irreplaceable.
It may be it may still be like 7 years before he's a teacher. Like he could have been a doctor, but
so then when we get the studio and the business going, he wants to run the day-to-day operations of the app and everything. Idea spoiler. Oh, I will be able to at that point.
Well, if we're paying people, I might need to get rid of my day job too.
Fellas, great time as always. We will be at Northern Superior Brewing Company tomorrow at 7:15 as the plan will be there. Let you know of any possible reschedule. We do have some rescheduling coming up with Northern Superior because they do have a couple private events coming up. We're going to figure out some dates. But we're going to be in their back room where they have the kegs and they have the machines and everything. That's where we're going to be if we're not in the top room. But we're going to be at Northern Superior tomorrow at 7:15 is when we project to be there tomorrow. We'll be recording by 7:30. We'll be on the usual schedule Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday next week. As the Carolina-Washington game still goes down, it's 5 minutes left in the third period. Lots of time left in this game still, especially if it continues on. Lots of overtime in the National Hockey League. And if you're a Leaf fan or a Vegas fan, tough Game 7 for you, especially if you're a Toronto Maple Leaf fan. So, listeners, until tomorrow night, from Northern Superior Brewing Company, it's Dave McCaig signing off here from Sportscenter Bar and Grill. And I'm reminding you, keep your stick on the ice, swing your bat, catch your touchdown, drain your threes, and shoot your shots. Booyah.